Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, specifically people who live with your parents or have high school students, or you are a high school student. This is Kelly Hughes again. I want to talk about this financial project from a high schooler's perspective. In the other perspective, in what I talked about there's an assumption that you're living on your own and that you have a regular cash flow in and out. And what I want to do here is give you some option as a high schooler, because I regularly get students come up to me in class or in an online class and say, well, I'm a high schooler. I just don't have any cash flow. Well, you might be surprised how much you do. And also there are several different options that you can work with. First and foremost, you can look at what you really do. Keep track of any actual spending. Maybe you bought some gas. Maybe you went out to eat, went to the movies, went to some entertainment, whatever. Just keep track of that. You're spending some money. Any money that comes out of the pocket, figuratively, keep track of. But also you have to figure out, where did that money come from? How did it get into your pocket, figuratively? Or onto your debit card, your checking card, so on. And the way to do that is, maybe it's just parental contributions. Maybe mom and dad gives you $100 to work with for the month, $50 for the month. Maybe you do odd jobs. Whatever it is, mark that. Maybe it came out of your savings. Mark that down as your inflow. This might be a very simple piece for you because there's not a lot to record. I don't expect you to put down every detail if it's not needed. The second option, again, a little bit stronger option than the first one. And what this is to sit down and figure out real world outflow and inflow. Estimate how much would rent cost for you to rent a room that you would share the living quarters and the bathroom along with the kitchen. How much would that cost? Let's say $200 for sake of argument. How much would your food be? How much would the grocery bill, your percentage of grocery bill, utilities, those types of things? Figure that out. How much was your share of that component of all these household expenses? Maybe mom and dad cover auto insurance. Then how much is that auto insurance on a monthly basis? Figure that out. That should be an easier number for you to come up with, because there should be a bill that you can get. And then what you do is you say, okay, mom and dad are paying for these right now. Well, let's think of it this way. Mom and dad wrote me a $200 check that I in turn turned around and paid right away to rent. So I never really saw the money, but that was $200 of income that I turned around and spent right away to pay off that expense. So $200 income plus whatever other income you have. Same with the food. You got paid a little bit of money as income from your family to buy food. I mean, this isn't any different than those who live out on their own and mom and dad goes, well, here's $100 for food, go spend it on food. Well, that would be a parental contribution. That's something that you would include in a regular bill. You just went out and spent it on groceries. It's more visible. This is just a paper pushing way of looking at it. It really doesn't happen, but it gets you a better idea of your expenses that you really do have and will have in the future. How much is that auto expense? How much is your auto bill for paying off your car if you have to do that? A third option is make this a family project. Have your parents be part of this and say, hey, will you help me with this project? My instructor wants me to do this. He said this is one of the best ways to do this. It's a benefit to everybody involved. And what I'm going to have you do is keep track of how you spend your money for a month, for the semester. Keep track of how we get money for the semester. And then what you can do with this is encourage them to help you out with this and look at the entire household. This isn't any different than I would do with a married couple. What I'd like married couples to do is to sit down together and do this project together. I've had a couple married couples that take the class at the same time, and they only write one paper because they're putting all their finances together. And this is one way of doing it too, is to do it as a household. The advantage of this is you get to see a much broader picture of the world. You maybe get to see how a mortgage impacts a budget, how auto payments impact the budget, how insurance impacts the budget. All of these bigger things that you don't see as a high schooler. Plus, what you can do is plug it this way. Say, okay, my instructor's the only one who's going to see this, so don't worry about that. I don't care if you make $10 million or $14,000. I really don't care. My goal is to get that tracking down. And then what I'm going to have you do with this is to benefit your family, to benefit yourself, is to go, okay, what is our assets and liabilities and our net worth, which we'll talk about in class? What is our cash flow? Where are we spending our money? Is that where we want to spend our money, or do we want to spend it somewhere else? It opens up a family discussion related to that. And almost across the board when I teach this, whether it's an individual doing it, a couple doing it, or family doing it, they all look at it and go, wow, I didn't realize I was spending so much in area A. What we really want to be doing is spending it over here in area B. That's where I really want to do it. And I really don't care where you want to spend your money. I'm not one of those that's going to say, well, you should do this and you should do that. I may encourage you to do certain areas, but very rarely am I going to say you have to do it a certain way. What I would recommend you do is go, oh, wow, geez, I'm spending a lot over here in A. Why don't we try to adjust and then we can spend it on B? But until you record all of your numbers, and I do mean all of them, you don't find that out. And this would be a benefit to a household to see all of this if they're not already doing it. Maybe they're already doing it and it makes your life really, really easy. You just have to plug it into my format at that point in time. The fourth option, and this is a new one, some students brought it to me and say, hey, I got a big sister, I got a big brother that's going to college right now or living on their own right now. Can I use their numbers because they're living independently, and it would be a way to see how that would work. This would work too. Get a hold of that big brother, older sibling, cousin, whatever that's already out, going to college, out in the real world, maybe just starting a job for the first time. This would give you also an idea better in the sense, what will it be like in 3-4 years for you, 2-3 years for you, whatever, how close you are to being an independent individual in society, and look at their numbers. Get their real outflow and inflow of money, looking at someone really out in the world and in college. And then also, you're going to help them in turn, just like we discussed in the other slide, because you're going to sit down for them. This is what they get in return for giving you all of their money and secrets, is what is their net worth? Where are they spending their money? What goals do they want to set up? How can they achieve those goals? We're going to talk about all this in class, create all of this in class. You're going to give this to them when it's all said and done. Maybe present it to them as the benefit of working with them through this process. Any of these 4 processes are fine with me. The key is getting to this homework assignment, which is tracking inflow and outflow of money and logging that and following it throughout the semester so we can compare from month to month, itemizing out, well, how much is going to groceries? How much is going to the automobile? How much is being eaten up in entertainment? And then compare it. Okay, well, in January I did this. In February I did this. Or in November I did this. In December I did this. And compare them and see how we can make adjustments so you can be spending it where you want to spend it. One note with all 4 of these is, mention how you're doing this. Well, these are my real numbers. These are estimated numbers. This is my entire family. This is my older brother, sister. I'll use that as an example. If you have a 21-year-old sister who goes out and once in a while hits the bar, I cannot see that you went to the bar. If I see that you're doing illegal activities, there becomes an ethical and a question of, do I need to report that to your high schools? So I don't want to see that you're spending money on alcohol if you're under the age of 18. But if I see that, and that might be a legitimate expense for someone who's over the age of 21, you need to note, well, I'm working on this project. That's my big sister's finances, and she's helping me with this project. And I will explain it from my perspective if I was her. But you need to note that because I have to be aware of things like that. Hopefully this helps. You understand what the overall project is going to be and how you can start it. Again, we're going to do a lot more information. I'm going to give you little informational videos about each component of this. We're going to talk about how to create these as part of class. That's the whole point of this class, is to better utilize your money the way you want to spend it. And so I hope this gives you an overview. Again, as always, feel free to give me a call if you don't understand. Email me. I try to respond to emails as quickly as possible. Have a great day, and we will talk to you another time.